So you got the business idea, you got the talent, you've got the experience. Now, how do you get started from nothing with a freelance business? Let's dive in. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Reagan, and you've discovered Unicorns Unite. This is a podcast for freelancers, service providers, virtual assistants, and curious listeners who would like to experience the freedom and flexibility of working virtually. We're the magic makers, movers and shakers, and the real people doing the work behind the scenes of online businesses. Welcome to Unicorns Unite. Hey, it's Emily Reagan. I'm so excited you're here with me today. Before we get started, just know the VA Crash Course is opening again for the fall. You can get on the waitlist at vacrashcourse.com. That's where all the cool kids are. And I promise a big, fun surprise for everyone on my waitlist this launch. So get on that list, vacrashcourse.com. All right, today we're going to dive into a very hot topic about how to get started if you are a brand new freelancer. This isn't just virtual assistant land here. We're also talking about any kind of niche when it comes to freelancing, service providing, any kind of thing you would bill for a client doing the work behind the scenes. And it can be a whole interesting mix of things depending on what you're good at. So I encourage you to go back to episode 27 from last week about exploiting that one thing. And think about what your talents are, what you're good at, where your wheelhouse is, and what Michael Hyatt calls your desired zone is. Like, move into those positions with your freelance services. Does that mean you might have to help out a client and do some things that are not your favorite? Yeah. Will you get smarter for it? Yes. Will you make your client happy? Yes. Do you have to do it forever and always? Definitely not. So once you figure out what that one thing is, this is what you build your freelance business on. You want to make sure it's something that clients actually want, and that's something I can help with. That's something I teach in my course. There's all kinds of crazy skill sets, and pretty much clients need help with everything. What they're willing to part money with does vary, and sometimes they do need an assortment of skills. But how you're going to get started, you're going to go do it. You're going to go do the work. You're going to get experience. You're going to get that time under your belt, and you're going to do the work. You're going to do this by volunteering. You're going to do it by doing the work for yourself in your own business. Maybe you help a friend's boutique, a friend's Etsy shop. Maybe you help your neighbor's brick and mortar. Maybe they have a service providing business. You're going to get your hands dirty, and you're going to do the work. Once you feel comfortable with your experience and you feel confident in your ability to help clients, that's when we want to start charging for it, right? Okay, now some of you are at this point already. And so from now on, really pay attention here. But you have to start telling people what you do. This is marketing 101. You have to talk about yourself. It's a little bit uncomfortable. I don't think any of us started off in a freelance business because we wanted to be in front of the camera and we wanted to do the talking or we wanted to sell ourselves. There's a whole mindset about selling, and I'll give you the quick rundown right now. Come from a heart of serving. Selling is serving. You're giving people something that will help them. You're telling them about something that will help them make their lives better, help them save time, help them make money, help them save money. All of those things are advantageous, and it's not selling when it's something of value. To me, selling something like wrapping paper from a school fundraiser can be hard because I don't believe in the value of overpriced wrapping paper. But you're also talking to the girl who wraps her presents in recycled bags and comics and newspapers. I guess I'm just thrifty like that, right? So when you're ready to start charging, the first thing you need to do is set up a PayPal business account. This is to keep your expenses and your revenue separated. It'll make it so much easier at tax time. So many of my students get stuck here. So many of the women who reach out to me asking about starting a business, they get stuck here, and it's not that hard. PayPal business accounts are free. Sign up. Yes, they take a percentage of your invoices, but that's okay. PayPal is doing some of the heavy lifting there. You can add that into your rates. We're not going to be talking about what to charge here and all of that and contracts and whatnot. We're just talking about getting those first paying clients. That first valuable experience under your belt. You're going to feel so good when you give services and you get paid for it. And hopefully you don't feel guilty at all. And if you do, go back and listen to the episode from last week about feeling guilty about money. That was episode number, I think that one was episode 25. Yeah, it is. Go check that one out. But don't feel guilty because the things you're doing, you're building for a business owner and they can totally make a profit off of what you're doing. You're laying the groundwork on their business. And it feels so good when you have something that a business owner needs. And even if they can do it themselves, they need your help because of the whole, 80-20 rule, the time rule. No one has enough time to do it all. And they're counting on you and your confidence is going to blossom. And what do you do the next client, the next customer? You increase your pay rate. You increase what you charge. You make those project rates a little bit higher. You add 10%. You make your hourly rates higher because now that you're getting booked out, you definitely have to start charging more. So after you set up that PayPal business account, go start a Facebook page. Now, there's very few businesses I would tell you not to do a Facebook page, but for most of you, start a Facebook page because it's the way to connect. You want to start being able to be found on Facebook, link things, share things, and then also interact as your Facebook profile. A lot of people, a lot of clients, business owners, course creators, membership site owners, influencers, they're going to tap into Facebook to find you. So you're starting to tell everyone what you're doing. What does that look like? It's called Marketing 101. Okay, backtrack. Now, I know you're going to ask me, do I need a website? It really depends on your niche. If you are a website builder, yes. If you're involved in sales funnels, yes. If you're on Instagram and you want to be more of an Instagram manager, no, you don't technically have to have a website right away. It really depends on your niche. It doesn't have to happen overnight. Don't let a website hold you back from getting paid for your work. And if you can, and you can take the time, go get the domain, buy it on GoDaddy, commit to like a 2-year deal, save some money, right? And you can set up a really quick website without, breaking the bank there. It'll be a really good experience for you too. You get a free theme, set up a 1-page, and just have a way for somebody to contact you. I recommend a contact form, or you could go straight to something like book a call, set up Acuity, set up Calendly so somebody could book a call for you. And here's a little tip. Don't keep your calendar wide open. Like narrow it down. Make it look like you're important and you're busy. Maybe you only have book a call meetings on Mondays and Thursdays. Like definitely rope off that calendar so you look like you are booked out. Hey, this podcast is sponsored by my very own GIF and sticker making workshop. Turn your clients' videos into GIFs, design branded stickers for Instagram stories, and master the art of making your own GIF for promo emails. This is fun unicorn magic that we can do behind the scenes easily for our clients. The workshop is 1 hour, just $17.99. The link is in the show notes or go to emilyreaganpr.com/GIF workshop. That's GIF workshop. Back to the show. And now you need to start telling everyone what you're doing. This is back to Marketing 101. I have gotten so much business by just chit-chatting with the most random people and talking about what I do at some point. I mean, I never lead with that. I'm not an idiot. I don't go around talking about myself. I mean, I barely talk to my family or my in-laws about what I do unless they ask. But chit-chatting with people and they start to find out what you do, it's crazy how much business I've gotten. All I have to do is say magic words like SEO or social media or sales funnel, and people are like, oh, I know somebody who needs you, or I need to hire you for my business and whatnot. So I live in a small town outside of DC. Technically, I'm in Maryland, and we had this electric car show in our little town, and we went up one Saturday to just check it out, got some coffee at the local coffee shop, pedaled on the electric bicycles, which were really freaking cool. And I was sitting in a Tesla. And keep in mind, I'm not a car person, you guys. I'm actually the opposite, the antithesis of a car person. I don't remember car makes at all. Models or makes. Like I have like car amnesia. My husband always asks, like, what kind of car did she drive? Like, I have no idea. Blue? Like, I don't know. And I just like my brain can't store that in and I don't care. But we were sitting in a Tesla, what was it? X? The one that can have like a 7th row in there. I only care about Tesla because of the stock market, right? I like to watch that, invest in it, uninvest in it, make some money, if you know what I mean. And I also do want an electronic car down the road. I've always wanted to save the environment. That's another story. Oh my gosh, I'm getting off on a tangent. So I'm sitting in this Tesla X And she's showing us all, it's just the car owner is showing us all these bells and whistles, and like there's like Christmas mode, and like you can make the seats fart, and the kids are having so much fun, and how like the doors open up like Back to the Future cars. It was so cool. And I made a comment about, I would love to own one of these one day. I just first need to make my 6 figures, or I said something like that. And she was like, oh, what do you do? So then the passion just creeps out of me. Somebody asked follow-up questions about it. She wanted to know more. I started telling her about how I help business owners and what I do. And guess who was giving me her business card? I mean, I sat in the Tesla just for fun, to make conversation, to dream of having a like fuel-efficient car one day, because that can be very practical. And next thing I know, I'm getting business. And the funny thing is she ended up, she's a matchmaker. And so she needed help getting found on the internet. So she needed digital marketing tools to help her company get found. So she can make matches made in heaven and change lives forever. And there'll be lots of little match-made babies born and happy couples, right? And wedding bells. But that was all from me just chatting. And one of our students, Tabitha, who's an OBGYN nurse, I've talked about her before, but she kind of needed a switch in her job and didn't need to be working these 12-hour shifts all the time. She started talking to people about how she's doing SEO, search engine optimization. Now, I've always said that's a hot word. People, business owners hear that. They want to hire you. They don't care if you even know what you're doing. They just know it's something they don't want to do, right? And Tabitha is really nerdy like that. No offense, friend, but she is very analytical, type A, very organized. So she's good with the SEO. So even when she first enrolled in the course, she just started mentioning things she's doing to people just in passing by. She's not leading with it. I remember getting a text from her one day, like she got a job just based on chit chat. She couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm telling you, this is a thing. But if you don't tell people what you're doing in all forms of communication, in all social media platforms, but including your own little personal circle, like no one's going to know. And then you're never going to get clients. And so many clients come from the network. Yes, I'm talking about the network. I'll get into that in a second. It's just like in person. Online's just like in person. Even with COVID, we can still network online. So many of my students are booking out before they've completed my VA crash course because they're talking about it. Or they're saying like, hey, I just enrolled in this course and I'm going to learn this and this. And people are already helping them and hooking them up. And you can do all of this in a way that's not like ultra direct. My speaking coach, Heather Sager, she's a really good podcast, by the way. You can go check that one out. It's the Heather Sager Show. There's a plug for Heather. She teaches discovery calls. She actually has a bonus inside my crash course helping with discovery calls and showing up on video, all the stuff we hate doing when we like to be behind the scenes. But she has something she calls the indirect ask. Instead of coming up to somebody and saying, hey, can I work for you? Do you have work for me? You say it this way and instead you say, hey, do you know anyone who would need my services right now? And that's an opportunity for that business owner, that friend to say, I do, me, but that's also an opportunity for you to get some referrals. That's a really good way to get clients. So the fastest way to get clients is to hang out where your clients are. This is the good old-fashioned networking. And like I said, in person, online, they're just a tad similar, right? I like to recommend Facebook groups. I have a podcast where I do talk about this. I know the real money, the real client leads, the real billable hours, and the higher end projects, they're in the paid Facebook groups. And you can't get in there unless you bought the course. That's where the high-level entrepreneurs are hanging out. That's where they're talking to each other. They're asking questions and they're giving referrals. I see it all the time. Yes, you'll see it in some of the freebie groups as well, but some of the bigger wig clients, they're inside the paid groups. So I encourage you to think about your next course. Think about your next membership and if it will bring leads to you, if it's the community you want to be in and be associated with. Are they more beginner business owners? No offense, Rachel Hollis, but I was in her business coaching group thinking I would get leads, and it was a lot of brand new baby businesses. And I applaud them and I encourage them, but they're not the ones shelling out money to hire teammates and virtual help. They're just not. There's better places to go. So I have a form on my website, and I actually bought the domain. I don't think I've told you guys this here on the podcast, but I bought the domain hireaunicorn.com. But you can also go to my website. It's emilyreaganpr.com/virtual-assistant. You can see why I bought my own domain, virtual-assistant. And then I send business owners there all the time to submit their job openings. And then we turn around and post them in my group, in my students group, not my free group, a students group. Again, I'm talking about the magic is in the paid groups, but this is how I'm modeling my business, right? Here's the thing. I do not want to be a headhunter. I don't want that liability. I don't want the time to match people. I don't want to be the matchmaker. I know it was the Tesla lady's business and it sure paid off well because that Tesla was like 80 grand. That's just not what I want. And you can find a VA coach for $6,000. I just saw an ad the other day for one for $6,000. I've heard of them for $5,000. And that coach can help you find leads. And when you think about the value of that, yeah, so worth it. It's so worth it to get ahead and to bounce directly into a network where there's good leads and there's good referrals. I like my way better. Of course, I'm partial. The VA crash course is not $5,000 and it focuses on the skills. And then we post the job leads. People are coming to me and I post it for my students. That's the networking way. Find the places where your clients are and you can scoop up your early clients there. And some of those I'm just going to say this, some of those baby business owners, they're the perfect client to start with. If you're trying to build your confidence, they need help with all the things. It's really fun when you can give them some direction, but know that sometimes they do need a little bit more of a business buddy or almost like a coach to help them. If they don't have things solid, you might be very unclear what you're supposed to work for. Or maybe you just take one little piece of the puzzle and you work on that. Maybe you only do Facebook for this type of client. Like you don't need to run their whole business for them. But that can be a great place to start if you're new. Keep in mind, we're working on you to up your hourly rates, work toward project rates, work toward one-day day rates and one-day intensive models, working toward getting retainer clients that you can count on. But it starts with you getting those first couple clients. It starts with you getting that experience, and you're going to gain so much clarity when you do the work for those clients. But to get legit, you need that PayPal account. You need to get a website/Facebook page. You need to start networking and actually putting effort out there. The clients don't just come to you. The business doesn't just come to you. You can totally start from zero. It's not too late for you. If you're good at doing that one thing online, you can totally help out a business owner. You just need to get started. You just need to know the right networks to align with. Okay, on the next episode, I have one of my very own digital media students on the show talking about her own journey. Carolyn Gardner is a mompreneur. She's a teacherpreneur. She has her own consulting business, and she takes on client work as a unicorn. We're actually working on helping Carolyn help course creators because she has that teaching side of her and knows how to present material so that it's consumed and understood. She can really help a lot of the course creators in the Amy Porterfield tribe there. So that's what we're working on. It's working out really well for her as a mom during this COVID time, home with her son. I cannot wait for you to meet her. So I'll see you on the next episode. Bye. If you're ready to learn the digital marketing and social media skills that will get you hired online, head over to vacrashcourse.com, where you can learn about my 5-week program, the Digital Media VA Crash Course. Small business owners and solopreneurs want to hire someone who gets it and who can help them implement just about everything. They're looking for a magical assistant who does it all. With my comprehensive training, you can get your foot in the door and become a unicorn. Check out vacrashcourse.com. Hey, I'm recording. Oh, okay. Please shut the door. All it takes is for me to press record, right? If you are involved in sales funnels, what is that noise?